This is another way to spell the E sound, the long E sound. So far we have E with the tap 2 rule, just a straight up E with another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. That E can say E. Y at the end of a multisyllable word can also say E. EY at the end of a word can also say E. Here is another way to spell the E sound, and it's EI. EI follows the tap 2 rule, and it usually happens after a C. Did you ever hear I before E except after C? That's pretty much true. So when you're spelling and you're wondering, does the I go first or the E go first, like in believe? The I is usually going to go first unless the letter before it isn't a C, as in receive, conceit, ceiling, deceive. All of these, there's an EI spelling the E sound because it follows a C. That's a general rule. There's also a couple other times when you'll see an EI, but those are usually foreign words. You'll see them in words like protein, leisure, seas, caffeine. Each one of these happen to be French words. But in English words, the EI almost always follows a C. So let's get practicing. All of these words are going to have, no, you're not. Sorry, I'm talking to somebody in the chat. All of these words are going to follow, all of these words are going to have the E sound followed by a S sound. So you're wondering, should I spell it with an S or a C? In this class, I want you to spell that S sound with a C, because that's the pattern that you're going to see when you see EI. It's going to be right after a C. Okay? So, first word. Let's spell the word e-seam. E-seam. So we have the sounds first. E, S, E, M. Now I'm going to spell that S sound with a C here. And then my other consonant is at the end. That's that M. So do I need an EI here? Nope. An E is going to work just fine in this spot because there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 places. If you don't need a vowel team, don't use them. If one vowel will work, use that first. That's your default. So we're good there. For this this E sound in the middle, I am going to use an EI to spell that because it comes right after a C. There's E-seam. All right, try yours. Yours is I'm giggling because these all have to sound somewhat similar because they follow an S sound. It's going to sound, it might seem a little easy, but yours is fleecing. Fleecing with my mouth open at the end. Fleecing. Go ahead. Wow. Nicely done. Fleecing, and my mouth is open at the end. So it's an N sound, not an M sound. That's hard to hear at the mic. So if you heard M and spelled it with an M, then you spelled it correctly. So this is how we're going to spell fleecing. We have our consonants, F, O, E, S, and all of these S sounding letters in this lesson, I'm always going to spell them with a C, and I'm going to end with my mouth open on that for that N. Can I spell this with just a straight up E? Sure can, because there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. That's all I need for the E's to say E. This one does not have another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, and it's after a C, so I'm going to use EI. It follows the tab 2 rule, by the way. Now it does have a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. Okay, number 2. Streeceive. Streeceive. S-t-r-e-c-e-v. Okay, things were easy for number 1, but for 2, 3, and 4, they're about to get a little bit more challenging. I'm going to teach you a few more things, so grab your thinking caps. So for streeceive, we have s-t-r-e-c-e-v. Can I use an E to spell the E sound here? Yes, because there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. For this spelling of the E sound, because it comes right after a C, I'm going to use EI. But I'm not done spelling this word. Words cannot end with a V. They must have an E after it. Okay? So now you know. If you didn't know that before, you know it now. Whenever you're spelling a word that ends with a V sound, don't stop at the V, put a silent D after it. Okay? Your word is preceive. 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 Okay. So, they're still coming in the chat here. So, we have p, e, s, and in today's lesson, I'm always going to use the C to spell the S sound. C, just a pushing pause here. C can make the S sound and will make the S sound if the next letter is an E, I, or Y. There's a little algebraic equation for you. C, and when you see slanted lines like this with a letter in between, that means the sound of. So C will make the S sound S when the very next letter is an E, I, or Y. As in all of these words, that C is spelling the S sound because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. All right, I'm just gonna put that down. Give me more room. Okay, so here I was with that V sound at the end. So I want this to say E. Can I use an E here? I can, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. This E sound, I'm going to spell with an EI because it follows a C. Am I done spelling this word? I notice that it has a V at the end. I must always put an E after a V. Okay, there is preceive. This is getting a little complicated, I know. Hang in there because we have one more level of complication coming up here, but I'm excited to teach it to you because you're so quick at picking things up. This word is, I'm wondering if I should present it to you in a way that will force you to ask questions, be like, hey, or if I should just, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to ask you to spell a word, but I want you to think about what does she want me to be confused about in this word. Your word is pessive, but remember, we're using the C to spell the S sound. Pessive. So we have p, e, s, e, v. Consonants. P, e, s, e, Any questions yet? Any questions yet? Okay, hang with me. Put that thinking cap on. Can this E spell in this spot? I want it to say Can it spell here? I want the sound. It cannot, because there's two consonants after it. I mean, there's not two consonants after it. In order for E to say it must have two consonants after it. Good, Nathan. So I have to double it, right? But now here is what I want to teach you. Can this C say the S sound if there's not an E, I, or Y after it? No. So this word would technically say peck-sieve. Peck-sieve. Think of the word eccentric. This says k. This says s for that same reason. Okay? This C makes the k sound because that's what C always says. But this one can't because there's an E after it. So eccentric, that is why those two C's say two different things. Now, so for this word, just clean this up a little bit. If I wanted pessive, I would have to use two S's. I think somebody did that in the chat. For it to be technically correct, right? So I'm going to change the word now to be peck-sieve. I just wanted you to see why. And then I'm going to use the EI here because it comes after a C. I'm going to put a final E after my V. So if you put two S's, brilliant, you got it, because I changed your word on you in the middle. Okay? Both of those could be, you could give yourself an A+ if you got either one of those. So now, having heard that these two C's side by side can say two different things, I want you to spell the word in the same way, trek-sieve. 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 Nice. Beautiful. Trek-sieve. Okay, I'm not getting too many in the chat this time. I have upped the game a little bit here, haven't I? The challenges continue to accelerate. Trek-sieve. All right, so we have t, k, s, e, v. I'm going to put this for spelling the s sound because that's what we're doing in this lesson, because that's what is required for the EI to come after it, and we're doing EI in this lesson. So here I'm going to use an because there's two consonants after it, and here I'm going to put an E at the end because it has a V right before it. Whoo-wee! Are your brain wheels just spinning? Are you like doing are you drifting in your mind? Are your wheels just going crazy? How about we end on an easy one? I want you to spell the word beseep. 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 B with a b like boy. Seep. After what you just went through this last 30 minutes, beseep is probably going to be seeming more on the I can do this side, right? B, seep. And we're focusing on that EI, spelling the E sound after a C, and we're spelling the S sound with a C in this lesson. Lily, I like your little asterisk after. You're like, see the notes at the bottom of the page. There are footnotes after your word. Okay, so for B, seep, we have B, E, S, which is how we're spelling the S sound in this lesson. E, P. This E can say E because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. I'm going to use the EI to spell the E sound after a C. There is B, seep. Would you please put one word or an emoji in the chat on how you're doing after this class? This is going to be one of the hardest classes that you're going to have. Do you hate me? Are you going to run away and complain about me to your family? Are you hanging in there? Tell me how you're feeling after today's lesson. It was a hard one for me too. Okay, that's good to hear. If you hung in there, you can do anything, you guys. That was so complicated. And I just kept adding things, and you hung in there. You might have made a few mistakes every now and then, but it was brand new information. So of course you're going to make mistakes. You're just learning. Nobody learns things and is perfect at it initially, right? I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.